Hi again, guys. It's Sunday, and you know, I grew up in Pittsburgh in the mid 70s, early 80s. We had some great teams. So on Sundays, we'd say, it's another Steelers Sunday. And you know what that means. Time to look at some football cards. Let's start off today. I want to show my Lynn Swann autographed mini helmet. Now, if you're not aware of this, Lynn Swann is one of the toughest signatures to get. There's a lot of things he won't sign. He rarely signs because he believes that somebody will turn around and sell his signature. When I was a little kid, I was fortunate enough to go visit him. He did a signing at a store, and so I got to meet him, and I actually have another autograph of his. Somebody had commented on my video about my glove. They said, you know, I'm going to, something about Tommy Two Gloves, Gainey. And I chuckled because I was real into golf back then. And I remember watching him on the Big Break, Tommy Two Gloves. And there was a kid that I grew up with from my hometown, and I used to golf with him. And he was on the Big Break. And he was a big personality, so he was one of those guys. I think he was on 3 different seasons. Brian Scatell was his name if you watched that show. But I grew up with a lot of good golfers in my area. So anyway, it's time to look at some football cards. And I wanted to show you one of my favorite all-time sets. And that's the 1976 Topps football set. I had, when I was growing up, I was in the 2nd grade in 1976. Yes, I'm old. And I remember they made us dress up like pilgrims and march down the hall, the long hall past all the upperclassmen, and you get to the 6th graders. And I mean, it was so freaking embarrassing. I don't know why they made us do all that. I'm still traumatized after all these years. So in 1976, I was in the 2nd grade. And of course, the 2 biggest rookie cards from this set are the Walter Payton Sweetness. This is just a beautiful card. I don't care what the grade is. This card is sharp. And Jack Lambert. Jack Lambert was considered too undersized to play in the NFL as a linebacker. But I think it was Dan Rooney, one of the Rooney sons was out at Kent State, and they were out there for a meeting or something, and they saw this guy tackling people out in the parking lot, and they came back and talked Chuck Noll into drafting him. Another rookie card in the set is the Ed Too Tall Jones. This guy's not in the Hall of Fame, but you could make an argument he belongs there. And my man, Lynn Swann, Mel Blount. I love these old Steeler cards from the Steel Curtain because there's just an all-star emblem on every one of them pretty much. L.C. Greenwood. Ernie Fats Holmes. This guy once shot at a police helicopter after a chase on the Ohio Turnpike. Football had some characters back then. Andy Russell. Franco Harris. Got an autographed Earl Morrall. The Snake, Kenny Stabler. Ray Guy, drafted in the 1st round. Had these team checklists. Joe Theismann. Here's Carl Eller. Steve Grogan. Bubba Smith. Mel Renfro. Frank Lewis. It's a decent receiver with the Steelers, but then got overshadowed later on by Swanee and Stallworth. Then we had John Gilliam. This guy was a really fast receiver in the day. He was the deep threat for the Vikings. Paul Krause, your all-time interceptions leader. I always joke because he played for 50 years. Dan Deerdorf. I just love this card. This is a beautiful card. Nat Moore. The 76 set has some really cool photography on some of the cards. And Freddie Solomon. And this guy was, he was a monster runner, Larry Zonka. So the deal is, who was it? Tim and, I think Mercury, not Mercury Morris. Or was it Mercury Morris? He had another running back they had, or receiver. I think it was a running back. They left and went to, I forget what the league was called. It was like the All-World League or something. And so the Dolphins held a grudge. And when that league collapsed, I think he went there for 2 years. And when he wanted to re-sign, they wouldn't re-sign him. So he signed with the Giants. Jim Hart. Bob Greasy. Big hitter here, Jack Tatum. Larry Little. Got another Lynn Swan. Got Roger Carr. He was a good receiver with the Colts. That's autographed. Oops. Terry Bradshaw. And this is my least favorite Terry Bradshaw card. I just don't think it's a very nice, looking card. There's a Joe Green. I also have this card autographed up in one of my displays. Glenn Edwards, he was a good hitter. Dwight White. Jack Ham. And when I was little, getting these Steeler cards was so exciting. Steve Furness. These guys were larger than life. Rocky Blyer. There's an autographed Andy Russell. Autographed Kenny Houston. Good defensive back. Autographed Bobby Walden, our punter. Another Jack Lambert rookie. Brian Sipe. I watched a game one time. Lambert got thrown out of it. He came around the end, and he went parallel to the ground and hit him helmet to helmet. Wow, brutal hit. But I still remember that plain as day. Back then, you had to do a lot to get thrown out of a game, let me tell you. It's not like today. Russ Francis. Robert Newhouse. Now, this is an interesting fact. Chuck Noll actually wanted to draft him over Franco. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, the Cowboys had a pick in front of the Steelers, and they took him. Billy White Shoes Johnson. You remember, if I can get back here, he used to flap his legs together. Can you see that? This is what he would do in the end zone. And as a kid, that was just great. I thought it was hilarious. But he was a great kick punt returner. Great returner. Played in the USFL for a while, and then came back.
First of the great return men in the NFL.
You want us to go after it, you want to return? Return. Billy Johnson will field this one.
He was the first returner to develop a strong identity. Billy White Shoes.
White Shoes. White Shoes?
A little feller they called Billy White Shoes.
You have to have a nickname. I mean, that adds to it.
He was wearing the low-cut white shoes, which he probably painted himself because I don't even think they were selling white shoes in stores.
It perked your attention because you'd never seen that before. It was something that was fresh. It was something new.
Nobody had seen anything like him.
Billy Johnson, here he goes again. Billy Johnson across midfield. He's still on his feet.
Nobody knew who Billy was, but it didn't take him long because he was an instant hit.
Electrifying return by Billy White Shoes Johnson.
He was a little small guy. He was about 5'9". You couldn't catch him.
Little number 84, Billy Johnson, a slippery escape artist who can turn a simple punt return into a geometry lesson.
Best way to describe it is trying to catch a hummingbird or maybe a lightning bug because Billy was everywhere.
Whenever I get the ball, I don't know where I'm going or what I'm going to do. I know I'm supposed to go.
I don't think half the time the guys blocking for him, they knew where he was going.
He didn't just get the ball and go. He'd move, he'd reverse his field, he'd come back.
If he goes to the right, don't chase him, because he'll be coming back.
Johnson at the 30, 20, touchdown, Billy Johnson.
Somebody said he could stop on a dime and he could leave you change.
He had that juke, if you will, that the first guy missed, and then he was off to the races. You were just chasing his shadows.
Johnson off to the races down the sideline. He's still on his feet.
When he get his hands on the ball on the punt, everybody stand up. He never hesitated. On his first step, he's going full speed.
Get up! Get up! Get up! Hey,
Billy White Shoes was more of a showman.
I remember Billy White Shoes as one of the first guys that kind of celebrated after he scored. Touchdown, Billy Johnson! All of a sudden, you started to see a little bit of entertainment value coming to the NFL.
Billy White Shoes Johnson, the funky chicken.
The funky chicken.
The funky chicken.
Oh, no, not the funky chicken.
The greatest celebratory dance in the history of the NFL, without a doubt.
Call him what you will.
This Michael Jackson in cleats.
Gene Kelly in cleats.
You just wanted to see him do the dance. I love him doing his little thing with his legs going in and out.
Where his legs would do this, and he'd do the splits.
And then he did the splits. He came down to the ball, and then he lifted up and brought it back and flipped it behind his back.
Well, I'd say right here you've got to go to Billy White Shoes and let him do a little dance.
Unbelievable showmanship.
To me, still the best.
Fans loved him. His teammates loved him. Opponents hated him because of the funky chicken.
People remember the dance, but he was a really good football player.
In my mind, Billy White Shoes Johnson is the greatest return man ever. He should be number one. In fact, this list is a shame that he's number 3. He should be number 1.
Harvey Martin. I think that's his rookie card. I think this is Randy Jones's rookie card. And my man, Freddie Bolitnikoff. I love to watch him and Cliff Branch. It was a good Raiders team back then. Lyle Alzado. Harold Carmichael, good receiver. Charlie Joyner. I think at one time he held the all-time receiving record, I believe, either receptions or yardage, and I think Art Monk broke his record, if I'm not mistaken. And these record-breaker cards are great. Here's Fran Tarkington. And we have Jim Marshall. And we have a good running back, Chuck Foreman. Now, what's interesting, how many times do you see 3 guys on the same team break records in the same year? Kind of interesting. But they had a good team back then. They never won the Super Bowl, but they went a lot. Roger the Dodger. Ahmad Rashad. Oop, got 2 of those. I actually have several doubles here. Larry Brown. Jim Marshall. Otis Armstrong. Sam the Bam Cunningham. Ken Riley. This is Norm Snead. Bob Trumpy. Lamar Parrish. Ed White. Doug Deacon. Remember him. Bruce Goslett. Isaiah Robertson. Raymond Rayfield Wright. Jim Langer. Reggie McKenzie. Phil Villapiano, I believe. Jim Otis. Roman Gabriel. This is J.J. Jones. Tom Dempsey, the one-time record holder. Pete Banaszak. John James, good punter. Fred Carr. Leroy Jordan. Cliff Harris. He's the guy that tapped Roy Jarrilla on the head in that Super Bowl when he missed a kick, and Jack Lambert came up and slammed him to the ground. And the referee, this is so funny how the game has changed. According to Jack Lambert, the referee threw him out of the game, and he talked him out of it. He's like, "This is a Super Bowl. You can't throw me out of the game." And they let him stay. Quite a different game today.
Joe Green put it rather well when he said, "Jack Lambert is so mean, he doesn't even like himself." When holder Bobby Walden and kicker Roy Jarrella missed a first-half field goal, number 43, Cliff Harris, celebrated prematurely. The tactic backfired as Jack Lambert set things straight.
I'm not going to go through all of these. I haven't checklisted them, but I have a lot. There's Billy Kilmer. Golden Richards. Otis Taylor. Emmett Thomas. Fran Tarkenton. Paul Warfield. One of my favorite all-time cards. This card is just beautiful, and that's the Greg Pruitt. I was a big fan of his growing up. Robert Brazil, good linebacker. Archie Manning, good genes. Terry Metcalf, and he set some records back in the day. Okay. When you were a Steeler fan back in this era, you got a lot of extra cards because they were in the playoffs or Super Bowl or whatever. Got a couple Dan Fouts. Man, he was the first, that was the first team. What did they call them? What was that, Air Coryell? That was the first team I really remember that just nobody could stop them passing. But they had no defense whatsoever. If they had any defense, they would have probably won the Super Bowl several years. That offense was amazing. Darryl Stingley. This is the guy that Jack Tatum paralyzed in a preseason game coming over the middle. Charlie Taylor. What else we have here? Oh, good running back. Jack Youngblood. Linebacker. What is he, defensive end? Yeah, defensive end. His brother was a linebacker. MacArthur Lane. And when you have a really beautiful card, why not have two of them? Tommy Novice. Oh, and how about Bill Berge? Guy was a good linebacker. That's all I'm going to show you for now. Hey, thanks for watching.
His slender physique seems ill-suited to the pounding he gives and takes, yet no one can hold him down. He looks like Count Dracula in fleets, and nobody's approach to football is more basic than that of all-pro middle linebacker Jack Lambert. Getting back to the basics means turning Lambert loose to play his game and breathe fire into those around him. Lambert is the favorite son of every man, woman, and suspicious-looking character in the Pittsburgh area. Lambert had some choice words for Ram running back Wendell Tank, a full transcript of which is available for mature audiences only. Starters like Jack Lambert also become bomb squatters. The term fits Lambert's style nicely. He is obsessed with his job, demanding perfection from himself and those around him. Seven-time All-Pro Jack Lambert, the Pittsburgh Steelers' most valuable player.